It's time for another Beetlejuice recipe from the Beetlejuice cookbook. So this time I am going to make the in-flight roasted nuts. So this little history paragraph, it's something I definitely did not know. It says Beetlejuice has a number of Easter eggs throughout the film, and they reference Flight 409, which is a real flight where a bunch of people died. So that's why we have roasted nuts in this recipe booklet. I happen to have the pecans on hand, and so that's the main reason I am doing this recipe. It's all the ingredients I had. Why did I have pecans on hand? Pecans, pecan, however you call it. My mom gives me a big bag every year for Christmas, and I don't eat them in a timely manner, so I put them in the freezer to last longer, and mainly to make pecan pies. But 2 cups of pecans, brown sugar, cinnamon, vanilla extract, cayenne pepper, and salt. So yeah, it's gonna be a little spicy, sweet and spicy pecans. And so plus water. Gonna mix these ingredients together, boil them down to a bubbly mixture, stir this in, and then spread it out on a baking sheet and let it dry. I don't know, I've never made candied nuts before, so I'm assuming this is essentially what this is candied nuts. So let's give it a try. So it only needs 2 tablespoons of water. That doesn't seem like nearly enough liquid for me, but I'll get it stirring. It smells good. It is melting. There is like, I don't remember, 3 or 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. And if this is the first Beetlejuice recipe you've seen from me, I've actually done a lot of recipes from that book, and each time I mention, I don't actually show the recipe out of respect for the author. If you really want the recipe, buy her book. But if I get a recipe from like a website, I show that because that's free and everyone can view it. But when it's from an actual book, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's fair to show that recipe because you're hurting the author of the book by not buying her book. So that's why I keep the recipes covered up. And I do recommend. I'm not sponsored. My husband gave it to me as a gift, but it's a good cookbook. Like as like all cookbooks, the recipes are hit and miss. Most are like really good. There's a couple that I don't enjoy, but you know what? That happens with every single cookbook. Overall, it's a great cookbook, and I love all the little history paragraphs. Yes. I know. Pay attention to you. I'm trying to cook, Mimosa. Could you tone it down a little? Okay? I'm trying to cook. All right, once it thickens up, it took about 6-7 minutes, but I'm cooking at a low to medium heat. And I don't know if it's thick enough, but it's starting to smell like, have you ever had candied nuts at the state fair? This is what it's starting to smell like. So I'm like, okay, that's my sign that this is ready. So now I'm gonna dump the pecans in, stir it until hopefully they're evenly coated, put it on this parchment lined baking sheet, and just let them cool down. And then we'll see if it worked. Because again, I'm always skeptical when it's like so little mixture. I just don't feel like this is enough mixture to cover 2 cups of pecans, but we'll see. All right, I got it spread out. Ooh, got it spread out on the parchment paper. I just, there was a nut sticking to the spoon, so I just thought I'd do a quick taste test, and I'm like, oh, I don't taste the cayenne pepper. Yeah, I do. It takes a minute. I definitely taste the cayenne pepper. And I'm always wrong, so you shouldn't be surprised. And also, there was definitely enough liquid to cover everything. Everything is evenly coated. I'm gonna stick it in the oven to cool down. The oven is not on, but I have cats, so nothing can stay on the counter. Isn't that right, Danny? Isn't that right? Nothing can stay on the counter. It's been a couple hours. It is one big piece. Well, it is breaking. It's in the recipe. It says to break it apart after it's cooled down, and it's definitely cooled it down. So I'm gonna get a spatula, break this apart, and do a taste test. As I'm breaking it apart, Robert can't wait, and he just taste tested it. So,
ooh, a little spice to it.
I was just gonna ask you, can you tell there's cayenne pepper in it?
It got me in the throat.
That's pretty darn good. They smell just like if you were to get you know, like, oh, there's that little spice. Like when we go to Wally's.
What is that called?
I'm
Roasted nuts.
Roasted nuts at the fair. Oh my
Fresh
God.
nuts.
And there's only like, hold on, let me see. There's only 1/4 teaspoon cayenne pepper.
It's there.
Is there?
Get you in the throat.
Are really good. I would do this again, but I think I needed honey.
You need what?
Honey. It was brown sugar.
No.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Robert loves it just as is. That's good. That's really good. This is what it looks like. I'm just gonna store it in an airtight container. I'm very happy that my husband loves it. So if you don't like spice, you could definitely leave out the cayenne pepper, but it's not overpowering. And honestly, would you know there was cayenne pepper in it if I wouldn't have told you?
There's a spice in it. No, I wouldn't have known it was cayenne. It's hot or whatever.
It is hot. Okay. Robert says it's hot. I think it's delicious. Definitely recommend.